Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites. These sites are located across more than 400 million acres of public lands, including national parks, wildlife refuges, and forests. The lands host activities to fit any lifestyle: hiking, biking, fishing, camping, and much more. Gold Star families are also eligible for these free lifetime passes. Plus, they cover entrance fees for a driver and all passengers in a car, or up to 3 additional adults at sites that charge per person. Obtaining one is easy. Just go to the National Park Service website, nps.gov, or the National Park Service app.
All right. Welcome back. MisFitNation. We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their story to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share some of your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you're a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you're a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and just share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or are embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at @_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date with our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show. All right. Welcome to our Sunday after dinner show. I know everyone's winding down for an afternoon of NFL and anything else you were doing today, maybe family time, hanging out. Great weekend of sports, great games, and NASCAR, of course, into the final 12 now. But that doesn't matter right now. Tonight we have an awesome guest. He's a U.S. Navy veteran. He's the owner of the performance apparel brand, Bamtech. Bamtech uses the power of bamboo fabric and other durable fabrics to create sustainable performance gear entirely made in the United States. So without further ado, let's welcome Brent Kappes to the Misfit Nation. Welcome, Brent.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
It's awesome to link up like this, especially when I have a veteranpreneur that is doing great things and like we talked in the green room, giving a lot of your time to the business. And now it's our time to give to you to maybe help you and your business grow a little bit. So Brent, we also talked in the green room. You didn't want to give me any secrets in the green room. So let's talk a little bit about Brent. I only gave about 2 sentences there about you. So we know you were in the Navy. Let's talk about as far back as you want to go, why you went to the Navy and how we got to where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Portland, Oregon. And when I was going through high school, I kind of had a calling to the Navy. And that was just something that True to me. I actually went in through the Special Forces pipeline. So I was in BUDS training for a while, about a year actually, and I ended up breaking my femur when I was going through that training. So I kind of had to pivot, right? Because that was my goal for a very long time. And when I pivoted, I actually got restationed in Japan in the aviation maintenance department. But the reason I started Bamtech actually was because of my service in the Navy. When I was going through boot camp, like many people, I got like the worst athlete's foot and blisters on my feet. And when I got out of the Navy, I knew that I still had that problem. It was like all the creams and all the ointments weren't working. I tried the unique different socks, all the options, and just couldn't really quite find the sock or the boot that was good for me. I tried all the cushionings and soles in the boots as well. So I thought that when I got out of the Navy, maybe I could create something that I could continue with my service in the military. So I actually took a deep dive into the space of government contracting, and I was able to create a prototype out of bamboo. So my first prototype was a bamboo sock. And this bamboo sock was designed so that it had extra cushioning and thickness right where you need it most. So I made the sock, right, and I started to sell these to my contacts in the Navy. But my goal was to get the sock into boot camp. I talked to another gentleman because I'm on this path for about 2 or 3 years now. And it was pretty challenging just to try to make those contacts and get into the government space, because in the government space, you want to sell as cheaply as you can. And when you're making products that are, one, high quality, and two, made in the USA, which is something I'm really behind, it's very hard to compete in that market. And yeah, so that's a little snippet about me.
That's awesome, and I like you call the dude. You go to the Navy, the BUDS pipeline, and I've heard that story all too many times. Guys going in there all ready to go, and then something horrible happens, like you breaking your femur or busting a shoulder, something that eliminates them from that part of service. But they still have to have a goal in mind to pivot like you did, and be able to stay forward facing and keep moving forward and continue with service, and then come up with this idea while you're in service. That's outstanding.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really just driven by my pain of experiencing the athlete's foot, and it wasn't even pain. It was more like frustration. I couldn't find a solution, and for the 5 years that I served in the Navy, I still couldn't. So I kind of thought it was my obligation to try to maybe improve the apparel that they're giving out at boot camp, and still are to this day. So I know everyone, especially people in the Navy, they hate those PT uniforms, like the yellow spandex t-shirt, and the shorts are just terrible. So I thought, maybe I can get in there and provide them with some high quality, made in the USA bamboo gear that is more durable, and it's going to last longer and provide you with protection where you need it most.
Definitely. I'm sure if anyone was able to get some, they would have been happy. Even Army too. The Army PT uniforms are hot garbage too. They of course go to the lowest bidder, and you get what the lowest bidder gives, and it's usually hot garbage material, hot garbage shirts, hot garbage shorts, and everything wears off on it pretty quickly. That's why you have to wear a PT belt with it when it's supposed to be reflective gear. And like you said, a lot of athletes' foot rashes from the material that you're wearing just as your shorts, because the under short portion of it doesn't work well, and it digs into your legs, cuts you open. But they're not worried about that. They're worried about saving the almighty dollar at that point.
Yeah. And that was another thing I thought I could work around, because I knew they were probably going to go to the lowest bidder. But in the government space, they have certifications for veterans that you can get, and they actually set aside a certain amount of contracts to give to those veterans. But when it comes to those larger, big government contracts in the boot camp space, they're definitely going to go to the lowest bidder, because they're spending millions of dollars. Yeah. So I mean, I understand it, but it's kind of hard to work around.
It's hard to get your foot in the door when
Yeah,
stacked.
definitely.
The door is stacked against you, really. So,
yeah.
where do you see yourself still fighting to get in that door within the military? Maybe try through the academies, go through any of the military academies, get your foot in there first, or at least showcase there and see if they'll pick it up, and then tell a friend, and they'll tell two friends, and somehow it'll come to you.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I did think about that, and so I was going on that journey into the government space, and it was about 2 years that I've been dabbling in it and making those contacts, and still trying to work my socks, the Bamtech, bamboo performance socks into the boot camp route. And I actually ended up talking to another gentleman who has done something very similar. He's gotten his products into boot camp, and he said, it's very hard to sell to the government in the first place when your brand doesn't really have a whole lot of recognition at all. Like they look at past experience, and frankly, I didn't really have any, especially when it came to selling to the government and the small context that I had within. So he recommended to me that I build my brand Bamtech outside of the government space. He's like, you need to start building your brand, get the word out there with the civilian side of things, and then the military will actually come and find you. I was like, okay, I think you have a good point there. So that's kind of when I transitioned. I had to pivot from the government to just selling to everyone, and it's been a journey for sure.
What year did you start the company?
2019.
Oh, perfect timing there. So right to just
Yeah.
shut down.
Yeah, like not the best timing, but it has its pros and cons, because a lot of businesses are closing, and when a lot of business close, that's an opportunity for new businesses to come in to steal some market share.
Definitely would. And I think starting it, then you had your leg up on the online or e-commerce portion of it, because you had to go e-commerce no matter what at that point. 2020 especially where you are in California too. So e-commerce is the way of the future, is the way for success. You can have a brick and mortar if you want, but you have to have e-commerce no matter what right now, because most people love the comforts of sitting on their phone or on their tablet and pressing buy instead of going into a store and talking to a human.
Yeah, and I think new websites are opening every day. It's super important nowadays to have any sort of presence online, and that was one of the things that I had to get used to, is kind of putting myself out there, creating content and making videos. Is there's a lot of stuff you have to learn going into the entrepreneurship path, and I think starting off, I didn't know that, but I'm glad I didn't know that starting off, because if I did, I don't know if I would have started and got to where I am today. Paralysis by analysis problem, and then go from there.
Definitely. And like you just said there, if you knew too much, you probably would have pumped the brakes really quick.
Yeah, it is.
But you didn't know.
Yeah, no doubt. Looking back at some of the stuff and the work that I've done to build Bamtech up, I can't even imagine to describe the process. I mean, it's been almost 5 years now, and every day it's a new challenge. But you have to welcome those challenges and work your way around them sometimes.
You definitely have to work through challenges. Have you ever heard of Bunker Labs?
Yeah, I've actually been through the Bunker Labs program.
Okay, good. I was going to ask you if you linked in with them, and they helped me out a lot when I was just getting out of the military, and I tried to link in with a lot of their pipeline veterans, so get their veteran story out here, just like I'm doing with you right now, and give props to Bunker Labs, and also help pump you guys up and help you to get your word out to a wider audience. We're going live right now on About Face Radio, get about 3,000 listeners per show there. And then, of course, across all the interwebs. So, and this will be live until eternity, basically, on YouTube. So the word will be out there. What do you want the audience to know about it?
About the brand?
About you and your brand.
Well, when you look at the clothing marketplace now, you see a lot of brands making their stuff in China. You see a lot of products that are low quality. You see a lot of products that, rip after the first use. And that's happened to me multiple times. So if you're tired with the frustration, like I was, then, you end up creating the brand that I did. And yeah, starting about 5 years ago, I've just expanded off the bamboo aspect of the brand. So with bamboo, a lot of people don't know really what goes into a bamboo t-shirt. They're like, oh, that's cool, that's made of bamboo, but like, why is that important, right? So bamboo is actually naturally antibacterial. So when you're wearing this shirt, let's say you go to the gym, you have a great workout, in that shirt, it's probably going to smell terrible afterwards. But with bamboo, it naturally fights those odors because of those antibacterial properties. Another great thing about bamboo is that it's extremely cooling. So like when you sweat, you feel that cooling right away. So I can't live without my bamboo shirts now, and that's sadly a fact. Now, I'm almost like kind of spoiled now, because once you try it, it's kind of hard to try anything else. But yeah, I think a lot of people are looking for brands that kind of align with their values, and I want it to be a solution for the people that are looking for those American made high quality products, especially in the clothing brand industry.
Definitely, and I can attest to the trying clothes on and ripping them. My wife's training for the Marine Corps Marathon right now, and pretty much every week we try a new sock. Every week we're trying new socks. So you got to get that right.
I'm gonna have to send you a few pairs of the Bamtech socks.
I would love that. Then I'd let her wear it, and then she can wear something saying Bamtech as she crosses the finish line. Got me through the thing, and that'll give you more publicity. Every week, the Fleet Feet Sports buying something new.
Yeah, that's the sad thing, and a lot of people are willing to try new things just because they have so many different problems with the brands that they're currently trying and using.
Right. I've seen on your website you have something with eucalyptus as well.
Yeah, so I've been making everything out of bamboo, and I was sourcing new fabrics. So that's one of the things in the fashion space. You have to source your own fabrics. So it's quite challenging because you want to find a fabric that is not only durable, but lasts long. It feels amazing. It has those properties that you're looking for in a t-shirt. So I came across eucalyptus. Some people call it tencel. It's TENCEL. And I tried tencel, and it turned out to be a great product. And the one thing that I'm kind of trying to pivot out of, newsflash, I'm trying to get out of eucalyptus and just focus solely on bamboo. I've been doing the eucalyptus products. They're amazing. But when it comes to the durability side of things, I just think that bamboo holds up a lot longer. Whereas the eucalyptus, you kind of have to wash it a little bit more carefully. You have to hang dry it. Now, I like to work out a lot. So, and I do my laundry like any other guy does. Just throws it in the washer and it throws it in the dryer. I don't want to have to really, I'll sort through my things sometimes depending on the items, but I just want my stuff to be durable enough that I can throw it in the drying machine and not have to worry about it at all. And
amen.
That's kind of the fabric I chose. I wanted my shirts to be able to hold up to that. So that's why I'm pivoting out of the eucalyptus into only bamboo. But eucalyptus is still a great solution for people that are looking for a great t-shirt.
Awesome. And one of the viewers has already purchased 2 pairs. So he wears only bamboo socks. Just going to order 2 pairs.
Thank you, Jake. Amazing. I appreciate that.
He's our resident hillbilly here on the show. So
you're gonna love him. You're gonna love him. I'll add an extra pair for you.
So besides the socks, what's your favorite lines? I love hoodies myself, so I've seen hoodies on there. T-shirts. I work out all year in a hoodie. It could be 100 degrees outside. I'm walking in the gym with a hoodie on because I don't know, maybe it's like a security blanket like Linus, but I like to wear a hoodie. Do your bamboo hoodies stand up to the smell as well?
So actually, we don't have. I'm working on one right now, a bamboo hoodie. Right now, we only have a eucalyptus hoodies, which is what I'm trying to get out of. So yeah, bamboo prototype is currently being worked on and should be coming out here in the next month or two. My favorite product has to be the Aerotech bamboo tee. That's actually what I'm wearing right now. You try this thing on and it's kind of addicting because it's just so soft and uh, it feels really good on your body as well. I mean, I like shirts or something that kind of complements your body. You don't want your shirt to be baggy and kind of, you know, some people like their stuff baggy. Me personally, I like it to kind of, I work out a lot, so I want something that is good, so yeah, I mean, I think it's very good in that avenue.
Definitely. And so once that hoodie comes out, I'll be getting on there and pressing the buy button as well. I'll go to my hoodie
I'll send you
collection.
one. I'll send you one for sure.
Sweet. Thank you. If now on the entrepreneurial side, we have a lot of people that listen that are also in the same boat you were, and maybe they don't know anything about being a business person. What would you tell them as they're starting that idea phase of a business to get going? What would you tell them?
Yeah, so great question. Going into the entrepreneurial space, it is definitely a leap of faith. And I think you kind of have to pick your lane and stick with it. I see a lot of people changing their path too often. So I listened to another podcaster. His name's Andy Frisella, and he always tells his story about how he started his supplement company, and it took him like the first 10 days he didn't even make a sale, or it was pretty depressing. So I try to just keep myself positive by listening to other entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs that have been in the space a long time. So whatever industry you're focused on, I'd say look at the founders, the CEOs, and look for their interviews of how they started their company, because that's going to give you a little bit more of an insight as to what it takes, and it's real eye-opening. I've listened to a lot of CEO interviews for the apparel industry, and you always learn something different from each interview. So yeah, definitely I'd say that's a great solution for someone who's wanting to take that step forward in the entrepreneur space.
Definitely. When you were starting yours, did you do any like cold calls with other fashion industry people or apparel industry people? Just call them up and say, hey, let me pick your brain a little bit, or you just kind of just did what you said, just podcast and kind of online research?
Yeah, so it was a lot of YouTube videos, and then reaching out to, like, I was in Bunker Labs for a little bit, and when you're a part of all these programs, another great resource is the SBA. So reach out to the Small Business Administration for whatever city you're in, and they'll actually provide you with free resources that you can utilize to build your brand. A lot of people can't even really think about, oh, I need to start a business plan before you get started. But that is one of the most crucial things you can do. So yeah, definitely link up with the SBA and have them guide you through an actual business plan. They'll help you get it down pat. And once that's done, you can take that first step. But that first step might not lead to that second step, and that's okay. One thing I've learned is you always have to adapt and overcome, because nothing ever goes to plan. And I can speak to that for certain. In my life experience growing this brand, it's been a lot of pivots, but you learn something each time.
But then, even with your Navy experience into this the business space, you've pivoted but stayed moving forward. You kept moving forward, the eyes on a target. You had your target to go and get that trident. It couldn't happen, but you pivoted and kept moving forward to the next goal. And then you pivoted with the business to get this goal going. And that's the positive mindset and resiliency on your part to keep moving forward, to keep going. And do you attribute that to your upbringing, or maybe just your hard-headedness?
So you know what? I wouldn't attribute it to either. I've always been, yeah, I guess it could be a little bit of hard-headedness, but a big part of me has always been creative. So I wanted to go into this to be able to utilize my creative capacity to some degree. And being in the fashion industry, designing clothes and making a product that stands out is pretty challenging, but it allows me to use that creative side. And I love what I do. I love making the products. That's the fun part. And being an entrepreneur, we have those creative types. I'm one of those. You have to find people that can fill the other slots in your team. And that's one thing that you have to learn as you go down that path as well.
Awesome. Brent, how does someone get in contact with you, maybe to pick your brain or just to learn more about Bamtech and get with you and maybe collaborate and get your stuff into their I guess inventory as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to link up and chat with anyone who's interested. They can either reach out to me at brent@bamtechusa.com, or you can just slide in the Instagram DMs. I put the tag for the business on the screen here, and they can reach out there, and I'll respond there as well. So yeah, anyone that has any questions, I'm more than happy to help out.
Awesome. Brent, this has been awesome chatting with you tonight. Thanks for taking some of your time. I know you don't have a lot right now with business and then of course getting some rest after last night, hanging out with Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani and thousands of your closest buddies. But it's always good to have a veteran on here with me, a veteran that's pushing forward and being successful. We enjoyed this conversation. The audience, of course, they were head in there. They already bought your socks. I'm sure others are in there buying stuff as well. And that's a win right there. Reach one, teach one is what we like to talk about here. And I think we did that tonight. Any final thoughts, Brent?
Keep your eye on the prize and keep moving forward one step at a time. Don't try to do it all at once. Just realize it takes years. It takes time, and one small bite at a time. That's all I got.
Outstanding. Brent, now we'll be back in about 2 minutes to chat with you offline.
For sure.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all of our past episodes and get some of that great Misfit Nation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.